Let's get you situated there. Hey, it's been a while. I'm gonna make a quick little cacao shilajit concoction. We're gonna have a little chit chat about my chosen celibacy sobriety journey. I'm gonna delve into it though. I'll pop the kettle on. BRB. Okay, let's just make our way to the lounge over here. Come with me. Are you gonna stay here? Let's hope you don't fall. It's hot. Very yummy. So I'm going to use the term like celibacy and sobriety kind of all interchangeably. Essentially, alcohol, gone. Dating, gone. Talking stages, gone. Any sort of external male validation, cutting it off, gone. Basically pulling back my energy and my focus and my attention on these external things and throwing it back into myself. I've committed to 6 months, and it's like 6 months of like self-care, self-love, all about myself. Update, I'm 5 weeks into this journey thus far, and it's been good. I've been enjoying it. I want to completely meet my own needs, completely validate myself, and love myself and be so solid within myself. And what began this was me and anxiety have a pretty tight bond, right? And particularly around relationships. Like anxiety can get triggered quite easily for me within relationship dynamics. Anxious attachment style, some may say. I was doing some reflecting over past relationships, and there was a pretty significant theme and pattern that was being repeated in my romantic relationships. And working with a therapist for the many years that I have, we have come to the realization that I think I already was aware of, that I have abandonment wounds from childhood and self-sacrificing tendencies. Therefore, I basically lack boundaries when it comes to relationships. Anyway, there's been a repeated cycle where I was feeling like I was being abandoned by people that I was in relationship with. And then I kind of began telling myself this narrative that everyone leaves you. Everyone's going to leave you. Everyone's going to abandon you. No one really cares. No one's going to love you like you want to be loved. Like this real victim kind of mindset mentality. And along the course of my spiritual journey, I've come to the realization that everything is a mirror. And in all these instances where I've been abandoned by this person, no. I've been abandoning myself, not meeting my own needs, and kind of then putting that expectation onto something externally to meet those for me. Basically started this 6-month commitment to myself. So I'm treating these 6 months as if I'm dating myself. I'm in relationship with myself and myself only. Therefore, I'm not pursuing anything else outside of me, to kind of really get to the core of this and really become firm on my boundaries within myself. I was doing some thinking, like where you felt you're most kind of grounded, most at peace, most at ease, most yourself, your true authentic self. In all those cases, the happiest I've been is when I'm on my own, which does also show to me that the relationships I have pursued in the past were not the right fit. It's like I've always had this niggle to know that this wasn't the person I saw myself with long term. This wasn't the relationship I saw myself being in. But then it's like a part of me that lacked boundaries, lacked the ability to say no, had people pleasing tendencies. And so I never fully cut it off. I just let it happen and let myself go along for the ride, thinking this is just a short-term thing. And then before you know it, you're attached. And then you're getting this sense of security from this relationship, this person. You're enjoying the good feelings, even though you know deep down this isn't for you. And then it's ended quite abruptly. And they've been the one to end it because I haven't been the one to speak up and speak my truth and live out of that truth and really make the choices that are in alignment with what I desire for my life. The universe loves to give us choices. And I'd been choosing past familiar repeating cycles. And then so the other person's been the one to leave. And then that continues to perpetuate this narrative that I built up, that everyone leaves me and everyone's going to abandon me and no one's ever going to love me and no one's ever going to want to stick around. Everyone's just going to leave. You know, can you see the cycle? Anyway, that's what it comes back to. Like, everything is a mirror. Everything is a mirror, right? Like, the most important relationship I feel to really cultivate and foster a deep sense of intimacy and a really deep, solid bond and love is the one with yourself. We come into the world as us, just us, and we exit the world just us. So it's so important. Like, we are the love, we should be the love of our own life. We are the loves of our own life. You know what I mean? But it's interesting though, since being single again, and like now really consciously choosing to remain in this season of like solitude and celibacy, society has a really funny way of like placing pressure. I don't know what it's like for men because I've lived this life as a woman, but particularly for women, because of our like biological clocks that are ticking essentially, there's so much pressure to find someone. And it's like people treat singleness as a problem to be solved, and I resent that. Like, I'm not saying like I'm going to be single forever and this is my life now and I'm never going to let anyone in. It's just that this is where I'm focusing my energy right now, is pouring back into myself. And I'm really interested to see like what comes out of it, like who I am at the end of this 6 months and how it does change me. So completely cutting all of that off and sitting with the dopamine withdrawal that is likely to occur and feeling like, okay, what do I fill this space with now? And that's the exciting part. What do I fill this space with now? What's going to come out of this? I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to go do some journaling because it is full moon tonight. Oh, that's what I wanted to discuss. Full moon in Capricorn, the second full moon that we've had back to back. It's happening tonight. So, I mean, by the time this actually gets uploaded, the full moon's probably already happened. But essentially, full moons are a point of release. And because this is the second one in Capricorn, and it's that final 29th degree, it's like this really potent karmic, like the last lesson to be learned, the last realization to be had, the last thing illuminated to us to be like, okay, wow, I really got to get this sense of clarity around my goals and my ambitions. That is the energy of Capricorn. And what do I need to really let go of? Self-limiting beliefs, maybe behaviors, patterns, programs, to really step into my most embodied and secure and solid sense of self. Reaching your goals. How are we getting there? I mean, this energy can carry us through regardless of when you're watching this. But if you are seeing this around the 21st and 22nd of July, 2024, yeah, it's a big energies, particularly for me as a Cancer rising who is ruled by the moon. Like, ideally, I'm hoping this space where men once occupied and dating once occupied and romance, not romance, because I'm romancing myself, really romanticizing my entire life, like pink hair, loving life, romanticizing your little life, pouring back into yourself, doing whatever it is that you want to do that's not influenced by anyone external. I want to try new things, like try out a few new hobbies. I'm reading books in terms of like, I've always read books, but like I'm reading fantasy fiction, which is new for me. And I'm doing a book every month. Yeah, just figuring out who am I without these external influences and energies. And then also ridding myself of other coping mechanisms like alcohol. So I'm not drinking at all. For the next 6 months, maybe indefinitely, we're just going to see how we go. The next 6 months are locked in. And then after that, we'll reassess. Do we want to keep going with this? Are we going to change some things? Like, where are we at physically, mentally, spiritually? So I would love to keep doing like semi-regular updates here on YouTube. One, to maybe inspire or to spark a little train of thought for someone else who's curious to explore maybe doing something similar. I know the boy sober thing has kind of taken off as a bit of a trend. People have many different reasons as to why they're jumping on board and doing this. Hopefully I've explained mine in a way that makes sense. But also to have like a little video vlog journal to kind of see the physical transformation as well. Like I have been journaling every day and kind of writing down things that I find challenging, things that have maybe triggered, if there's any like unhelpful or intrusive thought patterns or fear-based thought patterns. But yeah, just to have these videos on the interweb to, one, for my own like record, to kind of like be able to look back in a year or two's time and be like, wasn't that a weird time in my life or a fun time in my life, and just to be able to reflect. But also if anyone did, I don't know, feel inspired, feel like this has prompted a thought or an idea that they maybe want to try some level of sobriety or change some things to kind of make more choices that are in alignment with our higher self, because we are our higher selves, right? I believe our higher self is that version of us that is that most authentically expressed version of us. And there are studies to back up that authenticity is the most high frequency, high vibrational state that we could operate out of, that makes us our most magnetic selves when it comes to law of attraction, which is really, really cool. So that's basically how you become your higher self, is just to align with the frequencies of that, which is your most authentically expressed version of you. Who is that? That's what I'm here to find out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye. I love you.